brothers and my sisters, this very trying day today, we play a song that we sang as children in school. And today, even now, the question is being asked of us to lift up every voice and sing, even with the harmonies of liberties being taken away. But let us sing. Let it resound as a rolling sea.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Keep on marching, young folks. Keep on marching. It's a stony road. It's a bitter, chastening rod.
When hope unborn have died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed.
We're right back at that place.
We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered.
The blood of the slaughtered.
From the gloomy past to now we stand at last, where the white gleam of a bright star is cast.
It's still shining. Still
God
shining.
of the weary years, God of our silent tears,
Silent
Thou
tears.
hast brought us thus far on the way. Thou who hast by thy might
Only thy
led us
might.
into the light. Keep us forever in the path we pray.
Let us not stray.
Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget.
We must never forget.
Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to our native land.
We built this land, folks. We built this land. And therefore, we must never, ever lose sight of the fact that this is our home. This home does not belong rather to a privileged few. There is no such thing as white privilege. There is no such thing as black privilege. There is no such thing as any religious preferences and privilege. This is one land created by God for all his people. I remember reading in the book of books from the Bible that so many folks want to recite, even to some perverted fool, and I mean a cowardly fool, would bring havoc upon his own people to get before a church standing on sacred grounds for photo op, to lift up the book of books, the Bible. But the idiot was so dumb, and is so dumb, held the Bible upside down. This is a book of books, never for us to forget that God and God alone created the heavens and the earth. The heavens and the earth was created by God and God alone. And God, upon creating all that there is in the entire universe, said, "It is good and very good." But yet we know that even in the goodness of God's creation, there is evil. There is evil. And we know from reading from the book that God reigns on the good and evil, the same, the just and the unjust, the same. Because God is sovereign. God can do whatever God wants to do. God does not have to answer. Ave Uve Yahweh does not have to answer to his creation. But the creation will indeed have to answer to God. Oh, there will be a reckoning, folks. Oh, lift up your voices and sing. And let all of the heavens ring. Ring with the harmony of liberty. And we shall have liberty. We shall have justice, because these evil people, they too shall pass. Now, I know that there are many who may listen to this podcast, if you listen by chance. And if you cannot take the heat that I'm about to play out to you, then turn off this podcast now. If it's too hot, get out of this kitchen now. At the counting of 3, 2, 1, turn me off, please, because I am not going to sugarcoat what I'm about to say. It is not for the faint of heart to know that we have come to a place where judgment is on the way. Judgment is on the way. So all we got to do is stand fast, be unremovable, and believe that we are the children of the Most High God. That we are one. We are one nation under the sovereign God. Indivisible, cannot be divided from God. And we shall have liberty and justice for all. It shall come to pass. This too, this evilness, this heaviness, this hatredness, this murderous lying generation, they shall pass. I recently spoke about and wrote about the adventures of the Israelite children as they were coming out of captivity and going the long way around the river, ran straight into those serpents who began to bite them and to kill them. There was no antivenom for it. They prayed, they did all kind of, I'm sure, things that they thought they could do to first and foremost eradicate those snakes, those serpents, to no avail. But ultimately, as we are doing now, which I exhort you to do now, turn to God in prayer as we march. As we march, and we must continue to march, because this is not a short sprint, but it is indeed a marathon in this nation, because once and for all, Yeshua of Nazareth said, I go to that cross, I shed the blood of my Father. Emmanuel's veins is shedding blood for us today. And I'm doing it once and for all. But when the judgment comes, all of the wicked shall be weary, and the evil ones shall fall. And so they turn to Moses. That they asked Moses to pray for a way for them to be, if you will, free from these serpents. And even those who were bitten by the serpents, that they can find healing. They could be cured from the venom of these evil serpents that are in our nation today. But we shouldn't think it strange that they are here. Over 400 and some years ago, we thought we were free. Back in the days of the Revolution, all those many years ago, as they celebrated in Philadelphia, the victory over the tyranny of a king who suppressed his people, a tyrant. And now we have another tyrant. But Benjamin Franklin, who wasn't a very good guy himself, said that there's one thing that this new republic has to be weary of and leery of and caution against: this slippery, slimy serpent that will crawl off of the boats and begin to poison this whole new nation. He was talking about none other than solicitors, the attorneys, the same ones who hold the highest office in this land that God delivered to all of us to be free. But because of these solicitors, these Democrats, these Republicans, independents, yes, they're all the same. They now have reduced one land under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Freedom no longer reigns, but the mighty, almighty dollar that is being worshipped in this land today, worshiping the God of Baal, the God of Esther, lust, greed, lying, cheating, stealing, all kind of sexual perversions have taken over a land that was dedicated to God, so that men and women from all walks of life, from all nations, could come and live free, letting freedom ring. Let it ring, let it ring. But it no longer rings. The Liberty Bell sits in an encasement in Philadelphia, silent. There's no more ringing of the Liberty Bell, because there aren't any more liberties when innocent protesters exercising their freedom, their rights to assemble, to protest, were beat down by these Gestapo troops, this private army of this tyrant, this pervert, who now occupies the house of the people with fences high and keeping people out of the park.